So I recently reached over 2,000 hours in War Thunder, and after reaching this milestone, I wanted to talk a bit about War Thunder and some of its problems. I'll make a sequel video of sorts, talking about the good, but today's video is going to focus entirely on problems I think War Thunder has. Before I start listing off and discussing problems, I want to say that I love War Thunder. It's my most played game by far, with my second closest being TF2 at 1,300 hours. So in no way do I hate this game, but I did want to make something to bring to light some issues that have been seemingly left in the dust. There will be no particular order to this list of importance, and I also want to clarify that this entire video is my opinion. It's just a discussion of things that I think are considered problems to me, and it's completely opinion-based. The first issue I want to discuss is something that is a bit infamous in War Thunder, and that's ghost shells. For those who are not in the know, ghost shells are a phenomenon that happens when you fire a shell at an enemy and it passes through them as if it were a ghost. This issue has been around for some time now, but was extremely prevalent during the May 29th, 2019 update, 1.89 Imperial Navy. Since this point, the issue has been addressed and a fix was implemented, but the issue is still happening. Although it's happening far less, the issue is still there, sometimes happening multiple times in one game. Feels that Gaijin put out a patch, said the issue was fixed, and dusted off their hands like the work was done. I think that Gaijin needs to double back around to this issue and make sure that it's fixed permanently. The next issue is one that I consider to be a pretty massive problem, and that is cannon effectiveness / ammo effectiveness. This issue is one that I hold pretty close to me when I play and discuss these sorts of things with friends. As someone who plays all different classes and countries of planes, I feel that certain cannons are way too strong and sometimes even inaccurate. The biggest culprit is the German cannons. Starting as early as battle rating 2.7 with the Deuce 217Js in rank 1, you will start to see the round called Minengeschoss. These rounds were designed to punch holes into the skin of a plane, affecting its structural integrity and heavily damaging its control surfaces. The way that Minengeschoss is implemented into War Thunder is actually quite poor. The rounds act more like a conventional HE round, but with 100 times more effective power. Instead of heavily damaging the control surfaces and limiting mobility, these rounds are notorious for ripping wings like a hot knife through butter. They are too easily able to cut down bombers and heavy fighters, and have made those classes of vehicles extremely unfun and sometimes even obsolete. I think the best way to fix this problem is to revert the damage model change to multi-engine aircraft that was implemented in Update 1.79, and instead change the way that Minengeschoss works to more accurately reflect its real-life counterpart. Another problem with cannon effectiveness is the US/Brit cannons. These cannons are spark machines and are very, very ineffective. 9 times out of 10, shells will essentially hit the plane and do nothing. These also need to be looked at so that sparks are a less likely occurrence, but still happen for the sake of balance. Russian belts are also quite powerful. With most of their belts/ammo filled entirely with incendiary rounds, in most cases, you'll light a plane on fire in 1 to 2 shots, which can be quite annoying. This should be fixed so that fires don't occur as often or are easier to put out. Otherwise, you're going to be dying a lot from fires set by Russian planes. The final issue I want to discuss is actually quite broad and very opinionated, and I do expect to catch some flack for this, and that's overall vehicle balance, both underpowered and overpowered. This issue is extremely subjective, and there's no real objective way to talk about this. So I'm going to just bring up some vehicles that I consider problematic and discuss how to fix or change them to make them a bit more fair. Before I do that, I would like to make it clear that I am a main US player, just so that you know where my biases lay. The first thing I want to discuss is the rank 6 US 8.3 M60A1 AOS. This is a vehicle that I consider pretty underpowered. If we compare this vehicle to the German M48A2GA2 at the same BR, the German has a better engine, better turret traverse, better ammo because it gets APFS-DS as compared to the M60's Heat FS, and practically equivalent armor. The only thing the M60 beats out the M48 with is the stabilizer. I believe that the M60 should be moved to 8.0, or the M48 should be moved to 8.7 so that it more matches its direct competitor in BR, the US 8.7 M60A1 Rise P. The next tank I would like to discuss is the Leopard A1A1 L44. The Leo L44 is a German rank 6 8.7 premium. This vehicle is quite controversial and is seen as overpowered by a large number of the community. This vehicle's biggest problem is its BR. It uses the same cannon and ammo as the 9.7 Leopard 2K, but at 8.7, which allows it to see 7.7. The best fix to this vehicle would be to move it to 9.0. Now that 10.3 is the BR cap, it won't be seeing M1A1 and M1A2 Abrams, but it will still be seeing 8.0s and other 9.0s. But it needs to be moved up so that it doesn't see 7.7s, which is arguably why it's considered to be so overpowered. And though I'm not going to discuss it much in this video, another tank that should be looked at is the French AMX-30 Super. Its performance is almost identical to that of the L44, and I think should get the same treatment moving it to 9.0. The final tank I want to discuss is the British Rank 6 7.7 FV438 Swingfire. This vehicle is in a pretty rough spot. At 7.7, this thing is seldom seen. Its biggest weak point is its missiles. Though not slow, this vehicle's missiles are still slower and weaker than the missiles found on the BMP-1P at 7.3. And they are only slightly better than those found on the Type 60 ATM found at 7.0. In comparison to the Type 60 ATM, the British missiles are only faster and only have 35mm more pen. And they also get hand aiming. But I think that the solution to make the Swingfire a bit more viable would be move it down to 7.3 so that it can easily more match the BMP-1. I know this video is quite opinionated, but I did want to put it out and start a discussion about the game. I'll hopefully within the next few weeks make the sequel video talking about all the good that War Thunder brings, but until next time, see you on the battlefield and thanks for watching.